We're live, sweetie.
All right.
Welcome back.
Hello. Do you want to
Hi.
start with a reading?
Yes.
Okay. After you get a drink.
Yeah, after I try to clear the Cheez-Its out of my teeth. So the reading today. Honesty and spirituality. The right to a God of your understanding is total and without any catches. Because we have this right, it is necessary to be honest about our belief if we are to grow spiritually. In meetings, over refreshments, in talks with our sponsor, we hear our AANA friends talking about the way they understand their higher power. It would be easy to go with the flow, adopting someone else's beliefs. But just as no one else can recover for us, so no one else's spirituality can substitute for our own. We must honestly search for an understanding of God that truly works for us. Many of us begin that search with prayer and meditation and continue with our experiences in recovery. Have there been instances where we have been given power beyond our own to face life's challenges? When we have quietly sought direction in time of trouble, have we found it? What kind of power do we believe has guided and strengthened us? What kind of power do we seek? With the answer to these questions, we will understand our higher power well enough to feel safe and confident about asking it to care for our will and lives. A borrowed understanding of God may do on a short haul, but in the long run, we must come to our own understanding of a higher power, for it is the power which will carry us through our recovery. Just for today, I seek a power greater than myself that can help me grow spiritually. Today, I will examine my beliefs honestly and come to my own understanding of God.
Mm, yeah, that's pretty powerful. It's, I think, something that is hard to wrestle with in recovery. I'm reading the big book of AA right now, which talks a lot about spirituality and kind of their approach that, that it really is an individual both definition of higher power and relationship, like what it means to each one of us to believe that there's something outside of us that ordains our life and particularly our recovery. What's really hit me with at least from my AA reading is that the idea that we don't have the power to recover on our own, and that without spiritual help and complete surrender to a power greater than ourselves, there is no possibility of recovery
Mm.
because we're just so flawed and we don't, have the answers and know how to do things right. It takes so much humility to
Yeah,
kind of accept that
yeah.
that I can't do it on my own. I want to be so self-sufficient and so all-powerful, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not true.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to do it on my own.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess you're right. It's comforting and challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you get from that?
Um, I mean that you have to find if you want to stay clean and stay sober. you have to find that higher power. You have to ask for their help.
Mm. Like you need that strength. What's interesting to me is that I'm really uncomfortable talking about this topic on stream because I'm afraid to scare people away from recovery with the word God or higher power, because so many people have bad connotations or have had negative experiences.
I agree.
With people that would, represent God, or, different religious organizations. But I don't want anyone to miss out on recovery and a new way of life because of this, this one thing. I don't like the God word, or I don't believe in God, or I don't go to church, or whatever. I just hope that anybody seeing this will know that even though, like, at least for me, like, my spiritual journey is really important to me, that is not the only way to do things, and it's not a requirement for other people to believe what I believe. But I do feel really strongly about the spiritual aspect of my recovery, and I didn't used to. I mean, I've been involved in recovery life in different ways for many years now, since probably 11 years or so. And in the beginning I was very me focused, and there was plenty of work to be done with me within myself, so there was good work, and yet it wasn't complete. It wasn't a new way of living. And now there's still plenty of times when I feel lost and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I think I'm doing everything wrong, and I'll never figure this out, and I'll never find happiness. But there are also times when it's just random. If I'm just sitting quietly, or maybe I'm doing yoga, or just enjoying an ordinary activity, where I feel an actual, like, spiritual connection, like something else living through me, that it's not just me. And I think, like you say, like, that is both, it's both wonderful that it doesn't have to be me, because I have, like, effed up so much and so badly that it's almost a relief to believe that a power greater than me is moving in my life. But it's also scary, because what if I want to do something my way and it does not align with my higher power or my recovery? Then it's scary.
I agree. But don't you think that it will line up? And if you're truly wanting something and truly feeling so passionate about something, don't you think it will? That
Yeah, you mean that the feeling of motivation or passion for something is already, like, spiritually ordained? Yes, probably. I think ultimately that things will work out the way that they're supposed to work out, and for the greater good, for my greater good, ultimately. But it's that trust thing, that it might not feel like this is the right thing in the moment, or it feels uncomfortable. But to trust fall into the arms of my higher power is like, okay, it's gonna work out. here we go.
Mhm.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can understand anybody who doesn't want to do that, isn't ready to do that. I've been there for much of my life. But I think that willingness comes from, going to that rock bottom place where you can finally be convinced once and for all that, like, I cannot do this, that I am fucking up my life.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to get there. I don't know. We're so foolish thinking, the next time I'm going to do it right, this next decision is going to be the one where
Yep.
I get on top of it and I make things happen.
This next time I go out drinking, oh, it's not going to turn out like yesterday.
Right. Right. Yeah. Or like you were saying, I don't know when it was, yesterday or when one of our streams, that I'll quit drinking someday, that I'll have the future that I want someday, putting it, in this like imaginary
Right.
realm
Yeah.
as opposed to reality. So, what would you say to somebody who said, I'm an addict and my life is beyond unmanageable and I want to recover, but I don't believe in this God crap? What do you say to that?
Probably say, well, you're not going to make it through recovery, so you might as well just go out and use right now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You know, that's a little harsh, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the truth. I mean, people in AA, like all the old timers there, that's some of the things that they say. Like, I don't know the exact words they put it into, but it's like, well, sounds like you're gonna go use again, so we'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm. So you advocate for the don't even like mess around approach, because there's lots of obviously like ways to
Right.
handle that. You could say, well, a higher power is a power of your choosing. It doesn't have to be even a spiritual
I
being.
definitely believe that. Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, you're just coming from the hard line place.
I mean, they've already proved it to themselves and to everybody else that they can't make it. They've been
Right.
trying to. That's why
Right.
they're asking for others.
Right. Mm-hmm. I totally get that. And that sounds to me like, I mean, I'm a big 12-step advocate, and I know that you are too. But people that, want to like half work the steps or recover but without the steps, I think that's really hard to not say, good luck with that.
Yeah. I agree.
Because, having tried it many other ways, I can't explain why it works or why the connection with your higher power has to be there, but it
Not
seems
just
to.
a connection with your higher power, but also a connection with yourself, your inner self,
Right.
really, and just letting go, which is really hard.
Mm-hmm. It's very scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying, and yet it gets easier. I think each decision that I turn over to God or my higher power, that works out better than I imagine or that I would have done for myself
Yeah.
builds confidence in that for me, that this is the right way to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You know, it's only one day at a time, too.
yeah,
So all you got to worry about is today.
right, right,
You're not going to worry about tomorrow or the next day.
right, right. And if that's too much, it's the next hour,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
the next minute. You know, if you're very early in recovery, it can just be that small, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, I'm not going to take a drink, or in my case, it'd be like, I'm not going to obsess about Noah's recovery or whether or not my kids are happy with me. The like other addiction of codependency. If I can change that thought for a minute, that's progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe the next day I'll stay present and focused on myself and what I need to do for 5 minutes at a time or 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes at a time. I mean, baby steps. And then our counselor would say, celebrate that. I mean, it feels so stupid, but, you know, every day that you don't drink, every day that we don't have some huge codependent blowout is worth celebrating.
Woo.
High five! Every day that we get on this stream and share about our life, our most random and idiotic thoughts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Not the readings, those are good, but sometimes our thoughts are random.
Okay.
You're like, and that's the end. I just want to say that if anybody sees this now or in the future and would like to leave us comments, questions about anything we've said, concerns, tell us that we're freaking retarded, that's okay. Go ahead. That's fine. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you.